today we're going to be reacted to. The first woman explains that black women have pushed away their protection. The second video is going to be a woman explaining how her mom has prevented her from getting a date based off of how she was raised. And the third video is going to be a woman explaining how come relationships are not like they were in high school. It seems like after high school, it's hard to find love. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notifications button so you can get the videos as soon as I put them out. And if you're part of Sigma Nation, just go ahead and leave a comment for the algorithm. Let's get to it.
So we've all heard by now the common complaint that black women as a collective are not being protected by their men. Now, what is rarely talked about, however, is the fact that we as black women actually voted their protection away. Now, what do I mean by this? Black women are the most feminist. By and large, we overwhelmingly vote for feminist policies. And under a feminist framework, men and women are equal. They should have, equal opportunities, equal access to jobs, to pay, to positions of power, things of that nature. Men and women are essentially to be put on an equal framework. Now, under that, why would you need protection from somebody that you are equal to? Why would you need protection to somebody who is essentially equivalent to you? That will be considered misogynist. That will be considered disrespectful to a woman's ability to maintain and protect herself. And so we have to be honest about the fact that this is the kind of culture or framework that we did create. And now, fast forward decades later where things are a lot more feminist than ever, and women do have a lot of opportunities, and they are put in positions to compete with men. Now it creates this complicated framework in relationships. But here is the bigger picture. The reason that we are not protected as black women is because we voted that we didn't need protection. By by coming into agreement with some of those different laws, and by again putting us in positions to be more and more equal or equivalent standing with men, we in essence said we're the same. We are able, we are just as capable of doing all these things. And so again, I ask you the question. If you are able or capable, why then ask for protection from the very men that you are equal to? And this is why, under this framework, this is why, under the current structure, we cannot expect for a community or collective of black women that we have essentially said that we are just as equal to. We can't expect them to now operate under a traditional framework. We are now under a modern setup. Apart from maybe a husband or a family or maybe a close-knit community, that community framework that we're looking for, it doesn't really work or operate under this, capitalistic, individualistic, feminist structure that we currently have today. And I think this is just something that we're going to have to reckon with.
And believe it or not, this is what men have been saying for a very long time. It is okay for you to work a job, but what has happened is life has made you a competitor to men to the point where you feel like you don't need a man for anything, but yet you turn around and ask for protection. When it comes to black women, you have to understand, nobody looks at you as being weak. Nobody looks at you as being vulnerable. There's not one single person on the planet that looks at a black woman and says she needs to be protected, because you're looked at as the most strongest and dominant woman on the planet, regardless of how you feel inside. That's the truth. When you stop and look at how people are viewing you, the black man is trying to tell you that when he tries to love you, you are belittling him. You're making him feel less of a man because of your competitive nature. Why am I saying this? A black man thinks that a black woman is the most beautiful woman in the world. Other cultures of women only look good through their submissiveness, not necessarily how they look physically. But what confuses the black man is that he wants to love you so much, but you put up such a wall that blocks him down and belittles him. But then when you get lonely, you want to say, we need to be protected. From who? Who's trying to hurt you? Nobody. You're doing more hurting of yourself, because the men that were supposed to protect you, that are trying to protect you, you push them away. Now get in the comments and let me know exactly how you feel about this. Let's get to these comments and see what they had to say. Jason says, pro-black man. Equal means equal. I can't risk it when it's so many Miss Astronauts out there. I could have had that wrong. Uncommon Gentleman says 50-50 on bills, please. By the way, mortgage is due 2 days on the 1st, my G. LGO says there is a strange noise in the house. Honey, it's your turn to check it out. BP, 100% facts. That's why when I hear a woman say she's okay, I respect it. That means I'm going to ditch on a date. This is exactly how men feel. Men feel like women have become modern day men. So when they are in a relationship with a woman, they're not feeling like the man that they want to feel in a relationship.
Realize that men don't care about status or money.
After I got out of college.
After you got out of
and was
college?
telling people about my degree, and they was like, so what? Who gives a fuck? Man.
Would you say feminism lied to you about what men find attractive? Because feminism tells women make money, get a status, men are going to be attracted to
I
that.
would say that, and I would also say like how I was raised. I was raised by an independent, strong, tough black woman. So now that I'm in my 30s, I'm learning to sit in my soft girl era and my femininity. And it's tough to have those conversations with your mom. Like, you taught me to be like a strong, independent black woman, and nobody wants that.
Ooh, wow.
That's the reality of it.
Man, like
That's
it.
true.
Wow, yeah.
That's true.
Wow, yeah.
I have to agree. I think most black guys that may have a sister, you're seeing this with your sister, that she's a dominant baby mother, just like your mom. The cycle continues to go because older women are the ones telling the younger women, live your life, do this. You don't need a man. You don't want to go through that. And the reason why they're doing that is because back in the day, women were very vulnerable. They were desperate. And then they got with these guys. And when they got their heart broken, then they turn around and tell the younger girls, hey, you need to live your life. Example, in my life, my grandmother had 11 kids. And one day my granddad decided to get up and leave my grandmother with 11 kids while he ran off to be a drunk and drunk himself into a death pool. I've seen that even with the cycle with my mother. We've been through some situations with stepdaddies, and that was a lot of, trauma there. But in life, I see why the older black women tell the younger black women to just do their own thing. The thing is, you don't teach those women how to work together with black men. I've always said black men are taught to be simps and black women are taught to be the dominant ones, but it offset each other whenever it comes to relationship, because he's trying to love something that hasn't been taught to be loved. It's just been taught to stay in survival mode. Get in the comments to let me know what you think about this. In these comments, we have Carl R2 says, she seems secure about it too, which means it makes her attractive. There is hope for her. April the Gemini says, yeah, the more I talk about my career, the more the conversation is like, ooh, you don't have time for me. Mr. Lee says, I honestly rather have a woman without a degree that's down to put together and make it out there. Life is hard solo, no need to be tough alone. The way I see it is somebody got to have a dream. A relationship is only going to work when both sides can come together and create their own life and have their own dreams that they're going to have as a couple. But it's hard to do that in modern day relationships because two kings can't run the same kingdom. And that's what's happening here. Women want their own kingdom and a man wants his own kingdom, which is why you see a lot of women, especially black women, they're not afraid to be baby moms, to have 3 or 4 kids. They'll still have a house. They'll still wake up and go to work every single day and act as if they could do it on their own. But at night, they're crying themselves to sleep because they have no one to share the burden with.
Okay, is it me or am I the only one that hasn't been in a full-blown, grown, healthy, solid, happy relationship since high school, bro? Like, since high school. Like, what's going on? What's going on in these streets?
The reason why most girls after high school, you're going to have a hard time finding a man to be with or be in a relationship with a man is due to the fact of brainwashing. See, in high school, when everybody's at home and still living at home with their parents, it's all cute. But when you start getting out here, you start paying bills, you start traveling, you start going around the world, you start getting some experiences, life is totally different than the household that you grew up in. So as this woman comes outside of her household and she's going into the world, what she's not realizing is, just from the outside looking in, she looked like she for the streets. A lot of these girls are too masculine. She got tattoos all over the place. She got fake eyelashes, fake makeup. Women are looking like fake people, and men don't necessarily want to be in a relationship with a fake woman anymore. The world is so fake that men are waking up the fastest. So the faster men wake up, the more they're looking for something real. All the fake stuff is pretty much for the simps that are online. You get in the comments and let me know what you think. Let's see what they had to say in these comments. Telly Flea says, it all started with R&B change. I agree. R&B used to be good, but then we went into a depressing side of R&B. Shakur Green says, I never been in that one healthy relationship. I wonder what it's like. Team DJ says, I'm 27 and I've never been in a real happy or solid relationship ever. Wow. Costello Devine says, in high school, we were kids and had no care in the world. We naturally ignore the BS. I have to agree with them. You are going to naturally ignore the BS due to the simple fact that you don't have any bills. You don't really have a life set. Your mother and your parents are giving you the life that you think you're supposed to live. Thank you for watching Anthony Spade Reactions. If you want more reaction videos, make sure you click on the links below in the description and watch my other videos, but also check me out on my second channel, Life with Anthony Spade, so you can watch more daily vlogs of my personal life. Hasta la vista.